Oh, that was a late one. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Engineers Without Filters podcast, episode 77. I'm your host, Jacob Thompson, and tonight, if you might remember, I had this brew a while ago. It's the Clown Shoes Zen Garden, and I'm having it again because I just haven't drank it in all that time. So we're finishing it off tonight.
Nice. I'm Joseph, and I'm drinking another Shorts Soft Parade. I got them for... Tim went home, and I watered his plants over the weekend. So he bought me beer. And I was like, bitch, you getting me shorts.
Gabe, did you get more too?
I drank a lot of Michigan beer over the weekend, but I did not take any with me. I didn't have the foresight, apparently.
Fool! You guys should open up just some black market smuggling lines for just shorts beer.
So just have a shipping company.
More or less, yeah.
All right, well, I'm Gabe, and I'm drinking a G&T because, I don't know, I wanted one.
Okay, I didn't know you're on the G&T train like Joseph.
Oh,
Joseph
he's been...
and Tim have got me on it. I'm almost finished this handle, but there was another one before it. You're like a whole handle behind.
I don't buy handles. I buy good gin.
Hey, it's good gin.
What gin did you get?
Gordon's.
I've never heard
It's
of
the
Gordon's.
Seagram's of... No, Seagram's makes
It is not. It is not.
It is.
Close. It totally isn't. It's so good for the price.
And then do you mix it with LaCroix like Joseph?
No, I'm not a fucking punk bitch.
Yeah, you'd rather have 30 grams of sugar in a 12-ounce serving?
Yeah,
Okay.
That's exactly what I want. That and some lime. Pretty good.
Okay.
Well, Gabe, it's funny that you mentioned lime, because I am drinking Natty Light Seltzer, the Catalina Lime Mixer.
Ooh.
So I bought this, I don't know, like 2 weeks ago. Good friend of the show, Sean, he was looking for some recommendations, and he sent me a picture of this, and I was like, you know what, I've tried the other two Natty Light flavors of hard seltzer, but I hadn't tried this one yet, and it's all right. It's very middle of the pack. It's definitely not shitty, but it's definitely not good either. It's also 6%. So
that's a bonus.
That's actually pretty good.
That's a bonus for sure.
I had a bunch of the Bud Light seltzers over the weekend because it was so hot, and those actually kick ass.
Yeah,
the strawberry one is a little like for me, but everything else was really, really good. The mango was awesome. The lime was great.
Dude, why do you think I ranked them so highly?
Bud
Yeah,
Light
no,
is super solid.
They're very good.
And what do I always say, Gabe? Strawberry is always the weakest flavor.
Yeah, it was by far by the end of the weekend there was just like we had the 24 pack or whatever, and there was just 4 strawberries sitting in the fridge. Everything else was, gone.
Are you giving me side eye right now?
No, I hear something.
Oh,
are your headphones that loud?
I don't know.
Huh.
Are you picking up the headphones?
I can hear Jacob's headphones through my headphones.
Damn.
Now, Gabe, you also had the unfortune of having the bad Corona seltzer.
Oh my god, dude. That was it's the Corona Frescas or whatever the fuck they're called. And I don't know, I wanted to try one. It was like a coconut something. And speaking of sugar, that one tasted like I was drinking sugar, and then it had the bite still, and it was terrible. It was not good at all.
Was it more like a mixed drink?
Huh?
Was it more like a mixed drink?
No, it just sucked. I couldn't even make it through like 2 or 3 sips. It reminded me a lot of the like Not Your Father's type of drinks.
Oh yeah.
The Not Your Father's root beer, where it's just like they load it with sugar to mask the taste, but it really makes it worse.
Yeah.
So I ended up pawning that off to someone else. But that person had 2 of them. It's like, why? Like back to back.
It's a damn shame because the Corona actual seltzer is pretty good. I would say it's on par with Bud Light.
That was the Fresca one specifically. I don't know the difference.
The Refresca one is it's like sweetened, but the seltzer one is just like normal seltzer.
Yeah. I don't.
And they always put them right next to each other.
Mhm.
So if you're not freaking wise and have made the mistake before, you're like, oh, they're probably like the same thing. No.
Same thing with pancake mix. They put the complete pancake mix right fucking next to the regular pancake mix, and then you just grab a little bit too far to the left or right, and you get complete mix.
And you get
more like put a
dog
complete
shit.
bullet in my head.
Yeah.
Jesus. Fuck that.
I mean, there was one time when Joseph came home and he pulled out his groceries. I'm like, did you get complete mix? And he's like, fuck. I'm like, we should just throw it away. Like, it's just, it's so bad. One last development in the seltzer world. We were at the liquor store recently, and I saw now Press is now selling individual flavors as opposed to variety packs. You can just stock up on blackberry hibiscus, which is the best flavor. So if that's your jam.
I still think I'm going to get the variety pack.
Yeah, I mean, the flavors are still good, but sometimes I just want that good shit, you know? Like the blackberry.
That good.
Yeah, the good.
Yeah.
All right, welcome back to the podcast, everyone. As always, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at EWF Podcast. You can also follow us on Twitch at EWF_podcast. If you follow us there, you'll get a notification every time we go live. You can come watch us record early, usually on Thursday nights around 8/7 Central. You can find our show every Monday on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and Google Play. And yeah, let's get into it this week. So last week, we were talking about Dayton and I were going camping for the 4th of July. And I expressed some hesitation on the podcast, maybe a little bit of fear of what the weekend would entail, because Dayton is notorious for being ultralight, but also just hauling ass on the trails and going super long days, right? And his buddy, who we went with, Justin, is the same. He's exactly the same. And I'm like, all right, you know, how bad can it be? Like, I was worried, but I'm like, okay, they're probably going to kill me on the speed, and they're probably going to kill me on, like, the mileage, right? But, like, come on, how bad could it be? I was not anticipating how fucking difficult these trails were going to be, Joseph. Holy fuck. So, we get there the first day, and it's like, it was Friday, we get to our campsite, we had some debacle with our
No, it was
campsite.
Thursday.
It was Thursday, sorry, yeah. Dayton had a fight with the boomer camp coordinator.
I didn't have a fight. This guy just sucked at communicating, and I was just trying to, ask him about if we could move campsites, and he was like, "You can't move. That's so much fucking paperwork." Blah blah blah. And he's like, his little fucking yip yap dogs are like yip yapping in the back, and I'm just like, "Oh my god, dude! Like, I don't give a fuck. Just let me fucking pay you money to shut up right now." And that's pretty much what I did.
We pretty much just bribed him. We ended up paying for an extra night, and then another like $10 on top of that, just to like not have to deal with it.
Yeah, it's like the trailer park boys. Like, I'll tell you what, I'll give you $100 to fuck off.
And we had already set up our tents at the one campsite we had to move, so we just put Dayton's tent on top of the car and just like drove it through the campground, just like holding it. It worked pretty well. It was catching a lot of drag, but
Yeah, my freestanding one.
So
couldn't do that with my non-freestanding, but
first day we just got the campsite set up 8, getting ready for the days ahead. So, and his buddy Justin, like, he's been there a million times to the White Mountains, so he knew what was up. He like knew the trails we were gonna do. So we get up the next morning and we drive to the trailhead, and first thing we gotta do immediately is cross a river, right? And of course, immediately my left foot just dunked, right? Immediately slipped my left foot off the bat. I'm like, all right, this is a good start, Get across the river, and then immediately it's just like stairs of rocks. Like
it's hard to explain, but like stairs of rock is like honestly like, even that makes it sound easier than it is. It's pretty much like you're just like bouldering.
Yeah, like and it's worse than stairs because it's not consistent on like the heights you have to climb each level, so you can't even get into a groove because stairs already kind of suck, but it's just so much worse. So we're just climbing elevation super fast to the point where I almost like threw up.
Oh Jesus!
It was just like a ton of exertion off the bat, and I had to stop for a while to like get my shit together, and we eventually get to the top. At one point, we had to just scramble up rocks. Like on all fours, That's I guess how steep we got at one point. And yeah, it was just a fuck ton of elevation, and that's what really killed me on this trip was just the amount of elevation we were doing in such a short amount of time. And my upper leg, like my quads and my hand, was just on fucking fire. Like I'd be okay for a little bit and stop and rest, and then like I'd start going, and then just like fatigue would just set in immediately, you know. And
That's why you don't stop. Stopping is what kills you.
That's Joseph, what I try.
Dude, you don't realize you're tired until you stop.
Mm-hmm.
I try. The second day I was better about that, but the first day I was just like dying, right? And of course, Dayton and Joseph had me just hauling ass. You know, just like they have trekking poles and they're just like flying up this mountain. I'm just like, what is going on? And we eventually figured out that I should go be in the lead, or else they were just gonna just leave me behind. So yeah, it was a long day of just like, and how many miles? It was like 10 miles total at the end of the day.
Yeah, it was 10 miles the first day.
And it was worse too going down because your knees just get fucked going down.
Oh,
going
yeah.
down for so long.
Because it's like you're going down the exact same sort of stuff. It's not like a nice gentle downslope. It's like sometimes you're like dropping down like 3 or 4 feet. And there's really like no good way other than either jumping it, or if you have trekking poles, you can kind of like do like a little like pole vault maneuver off of it. But
and Dayton and Justin were going faster on the downhills. I mean, they were just literally running. Sometimes.
Dude, those poles are a lifesaver on the downhills.
Yeah, you can get cooking. You can get cooking for sure.
So by the end of the day, you know, I was just like a husk of a man. You know, like the final stretch was pretty straight. I'm just like, I just gotta get to the car, and we finally got there. I almost fell over, and I just like was just pounding down like food in the back because we were eating all day, but I was just starving, just on the energy we were exerting, and. We went to a river after that just kind of cool off, which was nice. But I think we ended the day with Justin had like 35,000 steps.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah.
So it was insane. And you know, next morning woke up and we were all wondering like how sore is Jacob gonna be?
Yeah.
You know. And I get out of the tent and I was actually feeling okay, but my knees were like still kind of fucked.
He had some tendonitis like I usually get.
So thankfully, we adjusted the plan. We were supposed to do like a very similar hike the second day.
We were gonna hike up Mount Washington, which is the tallest peak east of the Mississippi, and I've been wanting to do that one for a while now, just because like people always drive up it and like they always put like the bumper stickers on their car, like my car survived Mount Washington, and like I wanted to be like all smug about it and be like. My legs survived Mount Washington, but it wasn't in the cards for this trip. So.
Yeah, unfortunately, my knees didn't agree, and my physical fitness kind of put the kibosh on that.
Dude, just take some Advil and just start walking.
That's what Dayton did the second day.
Yeah, I just took ibuprofen.
But yeah, we did a more reasonable hike, and I was better that day about just going slower but not stopping, and we actually made pretty good time. But but still, by the end of the day, you know, it was another 8 miles, so I was just. You know, a lot of elevation, so I was hurting.
Yeah. On the second day, Justin and I ran a little bit more too.
Yeah, Joseph, I let him.
What do you mean more?
Because I kind of stayed in front of him a lot the first day, but the second day I let him get ahead of me a little bit, and they would just be gone immediately. They're just running through these fucking trails, and it's just like, guys, how are you going this fucking fast? And they have trekking poles, which helps, but we even saw some
and
trail
probably
runners.
No more than a small day pack, if anything.
Oh yeah, I mean we were going super light.
Yeah,
even Dayton did Justin more than I was. But we saw some trail runners. Like the first day, we saw this dude running the same trail I was dying on, which is just such an insult. You know, it's just like fuck you, okay? So he runs past us, and then we see him again running back, and we had like, do you forget something? He's like, oh well, my girlfriend's like slower than me, so I have to go back and forth a few times so we end at the same time. I'm just like, fuck you! Like, how do you have this much energy? Like, his legs must have been monsters. Like, oh yeah. But overall, it was really fun. We ate really well because we were car camping. So we just said we went to the store and just bought so much fucking food and beer.
We killed almost all the beer too.
Yeah. And
the way to do it.
Dayton, what happened with the pancakes?
Oh, that fucking disappointed me. I was super excited. I was like, all right, I'm gonna pre-make like this pancake mix that I really like making. So I like pre-mixed it all, and I was like, okay, I took all like the liquids and pre-measured all those, and like all we had to do was like dump it all in and whisk it up and throw it in a pan, and we forgot the oil. So like we hadn't, and because like I obviously don't eat butter or anything like that, like we can't put like butter in the pan, So like we tried, we were like, all right, I'm just gonna try and put a pancake on this pan and see how it goes because it's supposedly nonstick. Yeah, it stuck.
It stuck real hard.
So we had to throw out my entire pancake mix.
Like a whole like bowl of pancake because we had mixed it before we realized we didn't have oil.
Yeah.
And it was the morning, so we didn't want to like run it down.
You mean you went hiking and you didn't bring olive oil? That's like the go-to calorie-dense hiking snack, Dayton.
Just
Dude,
drinking olive oil.
Every calorie counts.
Dude, I remember seeing like this person who was like on a keto diet, and they literally packed cream cheese. Cream cheese was the only thing that they brought. Like, can you imagine that? Just be like, oh man, just got done hiking like 20 miles today. What's for dinner? Just a fucking like block of cream cheese. Can you imagine just like sitting there like in your tent, fucking sweaty as shit, and you just like bite into it, and it's just like
I don't need that visual, dude. It's fucking gross.
Probably all stuck together too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's disgusting.
That's like next level of like, what is the right word? Sadism, or is that when you like pain? Or is that masochism?
I think it's masochism.
Sadism is you enjoy inflicting pain.
Well,
yeah.
maybe you do enjoy inflicting pain on yourself. I don't know.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, we ate super fucking well. We made these bomb ass burritos first night. Second night, some of Dayton's famous pad thai.
Yeah.
And then the third night, some fucking spicy as hell jambalaya.
Yeah.
Soak that thing in Cajun seasoning, and Jesus Christ,
Oh my gosh,
it was so fucking spicy.
I was fully expecting to regret that the next day, but it really wasn't that bad.
It worked out okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it was also cool. We were able to just drink like spring water on the like on our hikes. Like we would just get to some like rushing water, and it was moving fast enough where you could just drink right out of there.
Yeah.
It was, like fuck it, it was super clear. It was awesome.
Yeah, I've never had any issues with water like that from the Whites.
Yeah, it tasted good. But yeah, I've marked that down as my exercise for the rest of the year. So that's how much energy I exerted. But it was a good time. My knees were only fucked for a couple days after. My calves were only rocks for like 3 days. So, you know, it was a good time.
Yep.
Nice.
Gabe, you also did some festivities for the 4th of July. Tell me about it.
I did. I didn't do. Well, I mean, the camping I did is camping's kind of a strong word. I would definitely call it glamping. So I traveled from to Wisconsin. I went all the way through Wisconsin, which is awful, by the way.
Wisconsin sucks.
It's terrible, and all the billboards are fucking lame. It's all like, I don't know. You got like the pro-lifers, you got the Christianity needs you signs, you got the Culver's next left signs.
Hey, don't talk shit about Culver's, all right? We all love Culver's. Okay?
I'm fine with Culver's. It was just like, it was the same 4 billboards, all right?
Yeah.
The whole fucking state, and it's the same field, it felt like. Anyways, and then I took a boat across to the better state of Michigan.
Oh, you took the ferry.
Yeah, took the ferry across. It was a 4-hour boat ride. I guess it's like the only steamboat that it takes like cars and shit too.
Yeah.
But that was actually pretty cool. And then I ended up going into Ludington, Michigan, which is in northern, and spent the weekend at a campground that my family has been at for probably about 10 years now.
Oh wow.
Like I said, it's so like I've been there obviously a lot, but it's definitely more on the glamping side. Like there's a lake that's on the property of the campground, and like they have a fifth wheel and everything. The way I always describe it is there's a fireplace in their campground or in their camper, so it's like,
oh god.
One of those,
Does the site have full hookup? Like,
oh yeah.
Fuck that shit.
It's glamping.
If you're gonna bring a trailer, at least haul in your water. Like, come on. Like,
it's straight glamping.
Wait. Sorry. They have a fireplace in their camper?
There's a fireplace in my parents' camper, yes.
Like a gas fireplace?
Yeah.
How does that
okay, if it was wood, I would.
Electric, actually, I think it's an electric.
Or yeah.
So they don't have gas hookups, I don't think.
That's true.
Holy fuck, dude.
Regardless, it was still very fun because I got to drink a shit ton of beer and just sit at the beach and catch up with some family that I hadn't seen in a while, and that was a lot of fun. And then got to use the boats, and I tried to do a stand-up jet ski. That did not go very well. There's a couple of videos out there. Of course, my whole family had to watch me eat it, because those are a lot of work. Like by the time, like you got the problem like standing up, which is its own bit, and once you're up, like any form of wake gives you a shit ton of air. And then if you fall, the thing goes fucking flying. You gotta swim out to it. Like, I'm not a great swimmer, so it's like a lot of fucking work. And you get back on, and you're just like, I don't know, you're constantly fighting the wake and shit. 4th of July weekend's always super busy, on lakes. So
yeah.
I got air on accident a couple times before I called it quits. And I became the cool cousin. I was so proud of this. Fucking so I got a couple of younger cousins, like 12, 11, and like I don't even know how old kids are. They don't even know like grade ages are. They're young. But I became the cool cousin that would like take the kids out in the jet ski because I did all the crazy shit like that their parents weren't like comfortable doing. So
do you give them a beer under the table?
Yeah. That was just a really fun and relaxing weekend, and I liked being able to go to a Meijer, and I liked being able to like get groceries and beer in the same fucking building. That was really cool.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. I miss Michigan. It was nice to go back. It was nice to actually have some time off from work. It was the first vacation day I took since I started.
You didn't get the 4th off?
Well, yeah, but I'm saying like the first PTO day I took.
Yeah.
I actually scheduled off.
Okay.
It was like a holiday.
Mm-hmm.
So was it kind of like a family reunion type thing?
Yeah, kind of. So I guess I surprised my dad. So he didn't know that I was going there. Like he kept kind of like pushing me to go there. And then my stepmom behind his back was like, just lie. Just go, but just tell him you can't. He's a very suspicious person, so it was pretty funny to pull that off. And like the little cousins knew and everything by the time I got there. And by the time I got there, like, we're expecting this like grand reaction, right? I pull up and my stepmom, Kim, she, gets out of the car. I get out of the car, she hugs me, and she's like, he's on the shitter. Like, perfect timing. So I like went to the fire pit and like sat around and said hi to everybody. And
cracks a beer. Hey, Dad.
By the time he like got out, I was just like relaxed and talking to family or whatever. So that was really cool. He was really excited to see me.
He was taking a nice long man shit.
Yeah, no, it was a long one. Like by the time I'd gotten there, it still had taken a while.
Yeah.
No, it was a fun weekend. I'm glad I went back.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Huh.
So let's get into our.
Wait, what did Joseph do?
I did jack shit. See, I was working from home, and so like Thursday around like 2:00, I was like, I really don't want to be working right now. So I don't know, started being less productive. I still worked until the end of the day, but I was just like,
you fucked around.
Yeah, I was just bored. I finished what I said I was gonna do and what I needed to do, so I was like, all right, I'm not too obligated. So I was like, whatever. I'll have TV on in the background while I type up some shit. But yeah, our friend Cooper came over for a little bit, a couple days, and then we hung out. Huh?
Was Tim around?
No, Tim left, but his girlfriend came over.
Oh, okay.
So it was.
Dude, don't even start. Don't even start. Let 2
What?
minutes ago, it was just me and your girlfriend.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Oh, you made it sound like it's a bad thing.
No, it was just her, Cooper, me, and my girlfriend. And so I don't know, it was just a fun time. Yeah, we hung out. We watched the fireworks. We played Flip Cup. And we figured out, or we had set that up. Cooper was really jazzed about it. It was kind of weird.
I'm not. That's not a surprise at all. Like, who would want to play Flip Cup that bad?
It was fun. I mean, we didn't do teams. We just did one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
But it was fun. We watched fireworks in the park next to us. They were not state-sponsored fireworks, which made it more fun.
Mm-hmm.
I almost got hit a couple times. We had a couple times that the casings actually fell on top of us. That was
Jesus.
pretty neat.
How close
Yeah,
were they launching them from you?
we were, I don't know, like 100 feet back.
Okay. Okay.
We were we were a safe distance back, but like they were just going so high, and they were like really good
Where
fireworks.
where
So
was this? Was
like,
it like at the park by your place or?
yeah, just right out our door. Well,
Oh,
we
okay.
like heard them, and we're like, that sounds really close, and we like stepped outside and we saw them. We're like, let's just fucking go sit out there. And they had those. I don't know if you guys know those nice ride bike stations. They
Oh yeah.
so you can rent a bike, but they have them locked in. So we just like sat on the bikes and watched them because we didn't have lawn chairs,
Yeah. You have
and
a
then
million fucking outside chairs on the
we
porch,
didn't want to
Joseph.
carry chairs with
Oh my
us.
god, 100 feet you couldn't carry some chairs.
Hey, we didn't feel like we just like walked out there to see what it was, and then we sat down, and then we got a blanket and we laid down on the ground and watched them, because they were like again right above
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
So it was really cool until the end when there was a fire where the fireworks were, but no one seemed to be jazzed about putting it out. So I don't know if they had like made a little bonfire there or what. And then like they had a bunch of them sitting on the picnic table, and I don't know if one misfired or what, but it didn't really go up. It just went out. And I was very close to where it went, and I was like, "Oh, that looks close to me." And then it exploded again, and like pieces went past me, and I'm like, "That's
Jesus.
scary." And I mean, that was the end, so we were like leaving.
God
So
damn.
that was fun. Mostly just drank and hung out. We went to a different park and just like drank in the park and talked. We watched this person learn how to drive because they kept circling the parking lot, and then like they had cones set up to like park in between,
Yeah,
and then they
yeah.
were parallel parking. And yeah, so
That's always fun.
yeah, it was a fun weekend. We didn't really do much, but we just kind of hung around. It was nice to just like do nothing.
Hmm.
That John Mulaney bit. So what did you do this weekend? Nothing. I didn't do anything. That's kind of what it was like.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
sorry for not asking, Joseph. I saw you went camping 2 weekends ago, so I figured
yeah,
you'd do a
that's
whole
true.
lot
I did
this
talk quite a
weekend.
bit about
But
that. So
that sounds like a good time, though. Some chill, relaxing. That's what I'm going to do this weekend, because I
mhm.
don't want to
Drank
do
a lot
anything
of
for a
beer.
long time now. All right, yeah, so let's get into the main topic. Dayton, I'll let you intro it, since it was your random thought, and then I might tweak it a little
Okay.
bit.
Yeah, so, I was just sitting one day at work, just thinking while I'm doing something that doesn't require a lot of thought. And I was thinking how it's like interesting as like when you're younger, you like your friend group is kind of more based on just like geographic location and like who like lives next to you or who's in your class, stuff like that. Like you don't really have a lot of friends from like even like neighboring school districts, and like a lot of your hobbies and stuff like that really come from your friend groups. Except like as you get older and you start to like become like an independent person and like you kind of develop your own hobbies and things that you like, your friend group starts to become like more compartmentalized. So instead of having like a friend group that does like everything together, you'll have like a friend group that like you go running with, or you have a friend group that you play sports with, or you have a friend group that you drink with, and like that goes on forever. But I feel like that's kind of like a recent thing. I don't know if that's maybe like just like an adulthood thing, because I feel like in college we did most things together.
Mm-hmm.
We
So we
shared
all
a
had
lot, we
pretty
shared a
similar
lot of
hobbies
things.
in college.
Yeah, um, and like in high school, I can remember a little bit that like I was kind of compartmentalized, um, because I had like some of like my nerd friends, had some like video game friends, and then I had like my outdoorsy friends. Um, but then in college, they all kind of meshed. Except out here, dude, there's no shot that I meet people that are all three of those things. Um, they're pretty rare, and it's mostly the outdoorsy aspect that I really cannot find out here. No one's very crunchy. So, yeah, I just want to hear your guys' thoughts on that, like what your guys' experiences have been, or if you disagree with me.
I mean,
You're
in
so
high
fucking
school, I
wrong.
I definitely had three groups of friends, right? So that I had my hick friends, which was more so from middle school, and I stopped hanging out with them more so in high school because found out they were all like racist and homophobic and shitty people
Mm-hmm.
for the most part.
Mhm.
Um, it wasn't like my friends; it was their friends that were shitty, and so like it, bled into them, and I was
Yep.
like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna distance myself from that. Then I had my weird friends, who are I consider my close high school friends, who you guys have met.
Mhm.
And then I have like my cross country friends.
Mhm.
Um, and that was, I mean, for me, that was pretty much it. And then it completely switched in college, where like, then it's like high school friends and college friends. Like I don't know, like it was mostly you guys. I had some other friends outside of that, but it was basically just the house,
Mm-hmm.
And
Mhm.
we all had at least a foot in every hobby that we all did, right? So
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
some of it, we all had different levels of like outdoorsiness, but it's like, oh, we're going on a hike. We could all go on a hike. Oh, we're gonna play video games. We're all willing to play video games. Oh, we're just gonna drink. We can all drink. That's not an issue. But we all like varying levels between us, but we all were at least willing to pretty much do mostly the same things.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a similar experience in high school where I had like my close high school friends, right, who I hung out with like during school and like after school. And then I
Hmm.
had sports friends, which were two groups essentially. One was cross country track, which I only hung out with during practice. Like we never really hung out outside of that, but I still consider them my friends. And then I had my Nordic ski friends, which we were a little bit closer because there was less of us. We were kind of just like the only ones from our high school on the team, so we kind of hung out more and a little bit outside of school. Um, and then, yeah, like you said, Joseph, when you get to college, then it's college friends and high school friends. And what I think is really interesting is when groups collide and what kind of happens there, because you kind of realize there's kind of doubles of people, or at least like
Hmm.
as their role in your life is like duplicated between groups. Like I don't know. One thing I always giggle at was, but I was like a first year at Tech or second year. I had some friends in the dorms, like in my hall, I hung out with all the time, and then my high school friends. And I remember I had like this Amazon link that was like, if you send it to your friends, they get $5 and you get $5, right? So I
Hmm.
sent it to all my college friends and my high school friends in the same group chat, and then they
Hmm.
started talking to each other, and then they all just progressively started to shit on me because I was the only thing that had them in common, and they just are like, oh yeah, Jacob sucks, right? And they just jokingly, but that was the kind of friends I had for people who it was shitting on each other, which granted we still kind of do to this day, not to that much of a degree, um, but that was kind of funny to me thinking I've attracted the same kind of person, in high
Hmm.
school and in college, and then yeah, once I was in the house with you guys and it was a little bit different. I still had some friends that like weren't in our friend group and stuff like that, but I also think of people within friend groups in different ways. But we can talk about that a little bit later. But um, yeah, I think it's interesting, especially when groups collide. So
Yeah, I definitely feel like when I first started, like, a couple things. Like, once I met all my college friends, I invited one of my closest friends from high school up, and he surprisingly meshed very well with everybody. Like, I think so, and like
mm-hmm.
he's still friends with Cooper, like, to this day. Like last Fourth of July, when I
I
talked to
have him. I have his phone number in my phone as Cooper's friend,
yeah,
not as Gabe's friend, but as Cooper's friend.
he he flew out to see Jake, not me, and then I fucking drove out to see it like them. Like, flew to Arizona where he was working for the summer, and I drove from New Mexico to Arizona. So that's really interesting. But I also think at the same like time, like you were saying, you kind of like go after the same type of people almost.
Yeah, yeah,
But also, I feel like our friend group kind of spawned from being in the same geographic location. Like we were all in the same hallway except Dayton. He was on the left of the hallway.
Well, Jacob was a floor below us.
I don't even remember how I like.
You hated your hall.
I know, except
That's
like
how
how did I even like get?
Weren't
to hang
you in
out
the
with you
same OTL group as Cooper and Josh?
Yeah, I was, but I don't think that was why we started hanging out.
That's how I remember it.
But like
I don't know.
from that first night on.
Well, no, hold on, because it was when Gabe walked into you in the shitter, and that's how you became friends. You remember that?
We didn't know each other that much. That was just a yik yak.
Yeah.
Like those fucking shitter stalls without locks on them.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll tell a story real quick because you can't just leave them hanging. In the dorms that we stayed in, the bathrooms were communal. They weren't like attached to the rooms, so you had one communal bathroom or two boys' rooms on one floor, and the toilets didn't have like a swinging door with a lock like most, toilets.
They were saloon style. So they opened in the middle.
So it was like, folding like Wild West bullshit.
It was so
kick them open.
Dumb. Like, what was the design decision there? Like,
the problem with it is, it's saloon style, so you could definitely see people a lot easier because it's like right in the middle, right where their fucking
cock and balls are.
Yeah, exactly. And also, it was really hard to like see people's feet because the doors were so fucking low. So a lot of times you couldn't even fucking tell.
Well, but if you're smart, Gabe, if you heard somebody walk in the bathroom, you just shot your feet out. And just,
Well, eventually, this was week one.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You hadn't learned all the tips and tricks yet.
I think I was shitting, and then Dayton walked in on me a little bit.
No, I was shitting. I was shitting. You walked in on me, and then you went and sat in like the stall next to me. And I was like browsing. I was browsing TikTok. TikTok. Yik Yak. Sorry, they're very similar in syllables, especially when you're down in a 6% seltzer. And I was just browsing Yik Yak. And I see this post who's like, just walked in on a dude in the stalls, sorry man, or whatever, like that. And then it's like, this cannot be a coincidence. Like Michigan Tech is not that big.
This was posted 5 seconds ago. Like, it cannot be a coincidence.
So I just remember I was just like, bro, did you just post it on Yik Yak? And I just remember you being like, yeah. And I'm just like, aw, yeah.
Well, okay, I don't know if everyone knows what Yik Yak is, but basically, you set a geographical area and you post anonymously, or that's what it was.
It's like anonymous Twitter, essentially.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you can just like post stuff.
Geographic Twitter.
But you can't tell who it is.
It was fun while it lasted, but shit kind of went sideways on that guy. That's a whole nother story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Especially at Tech.
Regardless of that tangent, my point is, we all became friends because of our geographic location. And I have a feeling that part of the reason that we're all willing to do all of those multifaceted things is because we started off with a really big group and it trimmed down.
It did.
It trimmed down. That's how it happens. So there's, few survivors. But we all kind of, if you're going to go do something, you want to hang out with the group. And I think that eventually, also we had inherent interest. Sure.
I
was a lot more willing to like try mountain biking, for example. Like Dayton definitely and Josh got me into that. And I'm sure I've gotten people into specific video games or snowboarding or whatever. Eventually, I think you're more willing to try things with people you're more comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to spend time with your friends too, right?
Yeah. And if I can throw a wrench into this, what I think another factor is like, if you think back to like high school when you became friends with people, and especially us at like Tech, I feel like a lot of us made those friends during a time when everyone was trying to make friends,
Mm-hmm.
like especially at Tech.
We were all super far away from home.
Yep.
And
everyone is at Tech for the most part.
So like I don't know.
So like everyone's trying hard to like be friendly and make friends, So that definitely helps. But even in high school, like when you're younger and you're like, okay, I guess I need some friends. Like, you just kind of, everyone's on that same wavelength.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're in sports, you're kind of just held hostage with these people, so you have to talk to them, and then whereas going back to Dayton's original point, I feel like as you get older, it's more difficult because people aren't really trying to make friends actively. At least not all at the same time, all in the same place, same age group.
Yeah, it's like back to like the orientation week of senior year, when the cheerleader walked up to me or whatever. They were like, "Do you want to join the cheer team?" I was like, "I'm trying to get rid of friends at this point."
Well, yeah, I mean, like, I would say the percentage of friends that I made even after first year, like, dropped off completely. Where it's like, yeah, I met people, but like, I don't know, other than a handful, I wouldn't call them like friends.
Yeah.
Even when I
it's
like
a lot harder to make friends after college too, because you don't have that common like, oh, we're all far away or we're all stuck together with this. Like, I don't know, people at work are a lot different than what you are.
Even when I was weaseling my way into your friend group, like you guys, like I had to like work at it because you guys, your lights were off as far as like if there's a switch saying looking for friends and not looking for friends, the switch was down, so I had to like put in time and like weasel my way in to like it was way more difficult because you guys weren't looking to add friends at that point.
Second year we tried we didn't go to like any of the hall meetings or any of the hall like group activities. I mean, we made a couple friends from some people that were like neighbors to us. Again, back to the proximity thing. But for the most part, like we weren't trying because at a certain point it's like this is too many people to keep track of. I get to a point I'm like, fuck, I can't keep track of that,
And now it's like I wish I had that problem today.
Yeah, it's like
I don't know, really dude, that's like exhausting. Like
it's exhausting, but it's also so hard to find people that you like vibe with. Like going, so I guess fast forwarding to like adulthood now, like I don't have the same issues as like I guess Dayton or Joseph or even I guess Gabe too, where it's like you're in a new place trying to find new friends because like right now I'm just kind of like cruising until I get to grad school. But I can imagine
fucking
it's hard.
Couch surfer,
honestly, dude. But I imagine it's hard because like when I think of so if I think of like when I get to grad school, right, I'm gonna be in a program that's not engineering, so I imagine the people who are interested in like tech and video games will be a lot less than I'm used to, right? So I feel like I have to like introduce myself in stages, right? It's okay. First, do you like my personality? All right, we got that down. Okay, let me throw in a little bit of running. Okay, we got that. All right, now maybe work in some video games. No, you don't like that. Okay, pulling that out. We'll find somebody else for that.
Full on like, anime.
Yeah, and then hit him with the kicker anime. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to like introduce yourself in stages and figure out who fits into which one, or maybe like Dayton was hinting at earlier. It's like find people for each different one.
I'm almost kind of torn because I went on a date last night, right? And it went all right, but like that's not like the point of this at all. The point of it is I'm torn. I'm torn on my like strategy, right? Because I feel like if you kind of do what like Jacob's hinting at, right, where you just kind of like dip your toes in the water first, and if it's like, ooh, that's kind of cold, then you like knee jerk it back, and it's like I don't want to be friends with you. Then what about if you just like fucking cannonball in and you're just like, this is who the fuck I am, deal with it or leave. Like I just don't know which one's better because like
I totally know what you're talking about
because they're gonna get the full picture eventually.
Like, full send, like complete, like this is my dumbass self versus like a little bit more like I don't know PC version of my like if it was my first week at work type of a profile versus like I've been your friend for 3 years, you know all the weird shit about me. I think
I don't know that I would be friends with myself if I came at me full who I am. Like
see, I can full on say if someone came at me like 100% Joseph, I would just be like, all right, I vibe with this guy.
Well, and I'm not. But to be clear, like I'm not saying
you
like
that about me though, Dayton. What? I don't think you could. I don't think you could say that about me.
No, I see. I think that I definitely like value when people are like unabashedly themselves, and like instead of just kind of like pussyfooting around and just being like, oh, like, yeah, I mean, like I like all music except for country and rap. It's like, no, like, this is the music that I'm into, and I'm really into this music. It's like, cool. I don't necessarily like that music, but like, it's better than just being like trying to please everyone.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I guess, yeah, to be clear, like, what I'm saying is, like, not necessarily, like, introducing stages and once you get one that doesn't work, you jump out. I'm just saying, like, it's like you're adding tags to a person, and it's, like, further describing your friendship with them. It's like, okay, is this person going to be just a drinking friend, or can be a drinking friend and a gaming friend? And it's like, you have to find that over time. But, I mean, like, the base level is you have to get along with them, like, personality-wise, right? And once you have that, then you can, it's okay, I want to be friends with this person. Which category am I slotting them into? And ideally, I can fit as many categories as possible, but sometimes that's not always the case. Like, just as an example, like my friend Perkins, who you guys know, like he's like a friend of mine from high school. So he's a high tier friend, right? But like for Dayton, Perk is like a music and like gaming friend, right? And that's like it, and that's fine. But that's just the categories he slots into for Dayton, right? So like sometimes you meet somebody, like, okay, you're cool. You're not really into these things I'm into, but we have this one thing in common, so we can be friends on this one thing. And maybe we'll do that together or just talk about that, I don't know. But I think as you get older, I feel like you might have to start compartmentalizing your own interests and dealing them out to different people. Be like, okay, I'm interested in these 5 things. I got 5 different friends, one for each, because I don't know if you can just cannonball into somebody.
I don't know. I feel like part of having a healthy friendship is being able to like expose all of your interests and have the other person respect those, except also like maybe be willing to like try them if they've never tried them before, but at the very least they should be like aware of like that's what you're interested in. Like I feel like it's not like, oh yeah, this is the friend that I just go and we just get fucking blackout with every weekend. I don't know anything about him. Fuck, I don't even know his last name. Like, like I know that's like an obvious extreme of what you're like going with, Jacob, but
yeah. No, I know what you're saying. I'm saying like,
I do like cast a wide net though. Like I just like they ask me, I'll give them like my top 4 at the time because I rotate interests like it's nobody's business. Give them the top 4, and then like usually can catch one. And if they catch none, it's like okay, what are yours? Can I catch on any of those? That's that's how I do it. At least with friendships. Like here's all the shit I like. Okay, what do you like? Okay, now
well,
what
and it's not even like hiding things with people either. It's just like if you aren't interested at all in building computers, I'm just not going to talk to you about it, and that's fine. You can be aware that I have an interest in that, but we don't need to talk. I don't need to force you to like it. If it's someday you express interest, we can talk about it more, but I'm not gonna annoy you with it.
What's hard for me is that a lot of my interests, I think, have become like there's a pretty big barrier to entry for a lot of them. Like mountain biking, it's like if I want to have like a fun time mountain biking to somebody else, like chances are they're probably gonna have to like mountain bike for like a few years probably to be at like the right level to like bike the same trails that I enjoy biking. And like same thing with backpacking. It's like, we could throw Jacob into like a backpacking trail that like that like my other friend and I like we do pretty regularly, and he's not gonna have a good time. and then I'm just gonna be like, yeah, I mean like it's like a good amount of miles, but like if I could crush like 2 times this, I would be like ecstatic.
Dude, Dayton could have done 20 miles that first day easy. All right, that's how much he was flying.
But like I don't know, I lost what I was going at.
But no, it's a very high barrier.
Must be a hard seltzer there, Dayton.
Yeah, well, I mean Jacob's interruption kind of me and my 6% seltzer, and on like a pretty, I don't know, empty stomach. But yeah, high barrier of entry. Like the people that are into those is like relatively small. Like that group's small, and then you move out somewhere out east where a lot of people are more interested in just like going out on the beach and shit like that, and then it's even smaller yet. And then if you narrow it down to like people who are around my age plus minus 10 years, and then it's even smaller, and it's hard.
Maybe not
minus 10 years?
Not minus 10 years.
Dude, you're trying to bike with some 3-year-olds?
dude,
or 13-year-olds? I can't do math.
I'd bike with a 13-year-old if they shredded. Like, I don't give a shit.
Speaking of, sorry, quick tangent. Speaking of guys who like going to the beach, me and Dane saw this fucker and we were driving up to North New Hampshire. So he was in it was a Jeep, right?
Yeah, it was a Jeep Wrangler.
No windows, doors off,
Yeah.
He's just out there, right? He's just out there vibing.
Beach
bro
cruise, okay.
tank, swimsuit,
Ooh.
barefoot, with his left foot sticking outside of the car on the highway. He had two
Did he have a surfboard over the top?
He had two kayaks.
No, they were stand-up paddle boards.
Sorry,
so
two paddle boards, and then he had two different Yeti coolers in the trunk.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
It's the way to do it, man.
Oh, fucking beach bro, dude.
Yeah.
Going off what Dayton was saying about like mountain biking, getting somebody into it, Joseph, not to like put you on blast, but like I know you've tried to like teach girlfriends to like ski or do things that you are pretty proficient at. Has that been like a tension point of like,
yes,
it's not as fun because they're not very good?
Yes.
I'm kind of the same way too, honestly.
Yeah, it's teaching someone. I'm not a good teacher. I'm gonna admit that right now. Dog shit teacher. I'm very impatient with that kind of thing. But it's fun to like show someone a new hobby or whatever. But yeah, it has been interesting to like teach someone who is, it feels like only doing it because they're with you or like, close to you or whatever. But
Yeah.
I feel like it would sap like all the enjoyment out of it for me.
Yeah.
I
mean,
it's nice
I don't know, like with the hobby or with the person.
All right, Joseph. I wasn't going to go that far with it. I was just thinking with the hobby. Like
I was just asking.
In that moment, it wouldn't be as much fun, but I would still enjoy spending the time with them. But I would think I would much rather spend the time with them doing something else where I don't have to put in so much work into it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Gabe, you were saying something?
I was saying, I mean, I tried that with my last girlfriend with like mountain biking, video games, snowboarding, and they all just like didn't stick with her. It's fine.
Swing and miss.
I do appreciate her trying. I think that's like a big
3 strikes.
Big props for like her willing to try, but it does take a lot of enjoyment out of it. But obviously, I mean, I've been snowboarding for like 8-9 years. She's not going to be to my level, and I'm like, Joseph, I'm super impatient and I'm not good at teaching. Mm-hmm. So I get frustrated and then she gets frustrated and it's a whole fucking thing.
You don't want to sound patronizing either.
And that's the thing. And like mountain biking, dude, I'm not a good mountain biker, but I'd be way the fuck ahead of her and then just like, wait to make sure she's okay or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like with kayaks, right? So you have 1-person kayaks and you have 2-person kayaks. And the 2-person kayaks are known as divorce kayaks.
I mean, I think it's nice to have someone who's willing to learn it, but it's also like, it is a lot of effort and it's a lot of energy.
You have to go in knowing that it's not going to be the same too, right?
Yeah.
You have to set your expectations.
It's not going to go how you think it's going
to go. Well, and Dayton, you were saying before the podcast, talking about this about like, you don't need to like marry somebody who's into every single thing you're into.
Yeah. Which is like another aspect that like I wanted to talk about like with like dating, right? Because it's like, if I found like a carbon copy of myself in like, significant other form, I'm not sure if I would really enjoy that so much because
it'd be fucking annoying.
Yeah. It's like they would know exactly what pisses me off, but like besides that, it's like I don't expect people to have every single like exact same hobby as I do, but I think like the tags or whatever Jacob's word that he came up with, like I don't need the same tags for a friend as I do for like a significant other. Like if I'm expecting to take it like long term, I want to have like ethics similar. I want to have like financial stuff similar, and like bigger things than that. Like if we share like 1 or 2 hobbies, I think that's honestly enough. But I don't need to have them.
Start hobbies together too. Like if you are that similar with all those things, I feel like very easy to be like, okay, let's go try this together and learn together at your own pace. I feel like would be way more reasonable for both of you to get less annoyed. At least I would.
Yeah, and I found that you can kind of have like proxy tags. So like kind of tags that will check off more than one tag. It's just,
what do you mean?
It's like an advanced filter in like a way. It's like, okay, if they're this, they're probably going to be these 5 things as well. Get them out of here.
So you're talking about like a higher level folder, and the folder holds the tags. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. So like some people fall into different folders, right? So like for example, if I'm just like swiping on Tinder or whatever, and literally every single picture is this girl like on the beach or like just like drinking wine, I'm just like, yeah, nah, I'm like, get that out of here. Like I guarantee you that we're gonna disagree with so many different things that it's not even worth my time to even look through all of your pictures. And like, I don't know, for me, I think I've realized that like I need someone who's crunchy, like who's very like tree huggery.
You need to explain that term, because I learned it this weekend. But you have to explain it to the people.
Yeah, just like tree hugger, like environmentalist, like
outdoorsy.
Yeah. Like,
where does the word come from?
What's the opposite?
Granola.
What's the opposite? It's just soft.
It's Urban Dictionary. If
I
I Google it, what exists, or do you make it up?
No, it's like a pretty.
It's
pretty
like
term.
Gabe, like you're relatively speaking are really soft, whereas if Dayton's going ultralight backpacking through the mountains, that's crunchy.
Yeah, so like I would say like the opposite is like soft, and I definitely use that word a lot. Like this past weekend.
Yeah.
Like I think that's like my main gripe with like a lot of people is like I just find them to be like too soft.
It's not even that for me. For me, it's like, are you interested in something?
I think Gabe, you definitely cast a wider net than I do. I'm like, you're kind of like a shotgun, and I'm like a rifle where I'm like searching for one thing, except you're more willing to try more.
Anything. Do you have any interest? I just need something.
You think it would be easy, Joseph, but it's not.
No, I know. I've been there. I know.
Yeah, I like The Office.
Going on
dogs, circles from Post Malone as their anthem. Get that fucking shit out of here. Mm-hmm. Adventures.
I like going to Target.
They probably travel to Europe, and their life goal is to go to every national park. Fuck off.
And by go to every national park, they mean to just drive through it.
Yeah, exactly. Get that shit out of here. What do you actually do? They don't do shit. They watch TikTok all day.
The last thing I want to touch on before we leave is just if you guys, because I know I do, and I've talked about before in the podcast, but how do you guys think of your friends within a friend group as different roles? Like, just as an example, like I usually have, like, an emotional friend, where it's like I talk to you about like my emotions. I have like a video game friend. I have like a anime friend, which is it's you, Joseph. All right.
Am I all three?
You're definitely a movie, TV, and anime friend. You have like your school tech stuff, kind of sciencey, I should say, at least for me, and then like a tech. I'm saying I have like my different interests. I definitely like within friends, like Joseph was saying, we all have like foots and everything. But there are people who like I just push to more with certain things like that. Do you guys have the similar thing where you have different friends or different conversations, we'll say?
I mean, I think so, except I don't really. It's one of those things where I don't consciously think about it.
Yeah, it's not something that it's like, okay, I've labeled this person as this kind of person, and I'm going to talk to them only, or like specifically about this, or like that kind of thing. Like I'm aware of all my friends, like their different interests and hobbies, but I wouldn't say I like necessarily compartmentalize within that, within like a group. Yeah,
I've noticed it more when I'm apart from people, because when you're like together, like in the same living together, or you see them a lot, like you just kind of tend to talk about everything. But if people are away from you and you only talk to them deliberately, I feel like it's then easier to just talk about the one thing that's like the most common between you, you know.
Yeah.
And that's different for different friends and stuff. But I've just found like when I'm apart from people, I'm worse about that, where I just kind of single in on one thing, you know, just because it just makes things easier.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, do you guys have any final thoughts on friends, friend groups, dating? I guess compartmentalizing, anything like that.
Put everybody in boxes.
Yeah.
Physical boxes and lock them up.
Yeah.
Give them tags that are like name tags. All right, you're the specific friend. Deal with it.
Joseph, anime friend.
Weeboo.
All right, that's our show for this week, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. As always, you can find us on Instagram and Twitter at EWF Podcast. Follow us on Twitch at EWF_podcast. And go subscribe to our show and maybe give it a rating on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify. And for the love of God, give us some YouTube views, please.
Put effort in the thumbnails already.
The algorithm needs to understand that we make good content. Give us a like, give us a comment, give us a sub. Just do something on YouTube, please. We're trying really hard with it.
We don't really know what's on YouTube, what you can do, but please click every button.
We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.